They might be closing. Yes, unfortunately, as the title says, they might be closing. This is not the first time these incidents have happened at this location, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be the last. So if you could actually like the video and comment, that would be much appreciated. It may not actually help the cause, but all I can do is try and help. But what do I mean about they might be closing? Check this out. So yeah, here we are at the entrance of Lakeside Park. Used to be called Lakeside International Raceway, but that's the main straight down there. I'll show you the actual map for the track in a very short period of time if you've never been here. I've done plenty of videos, track day sessions. I've been here plenty of times myself. I used to race the V8s here until the early 90s, mid 90s, until the rules and regulations of the supercars, as they're called now, not V8 supercars, changed and whatnot. But yeah, I'll show you the map of the track. I've done plenty of videos. There's a link to the actual last video I did of Lakeside, of my GTS being here. So yeah, here is the map of Lakeside itself. So that's the main straight just there. That's the hill coming down itself. So I think they're actually putting up some noise barriers down here on the kink on the straight to stop the noise coming down this way. I think this side of the track is okay, but down here is where the problem is. But yeah, that's your main straight there, and that's your hill coming off. So the track goes up that way there, comes down the hill, and then down the straight towards the tower down there, and the kink and the straight is down there, which is right here. So it'd be much appreciated if you could take some spare seconds out of your busy days and like and comment on this actual video. But this is what's happening. So here's the actual screen captures for this actual report from Lakeside officials, but I'm going to read it in brief to you here, but it is quite long, so spend a couple of minutes actually checking out the actual link in the description. I'm not going to copy all screen captures, but this is just a brief thing of what's going on. On June the 4th, 2024, we were notified that MBRC, Moreton Bay Regional Council, had decided to change the way that would measure and enforce noise limits at Lakeside. We, being Lakeside Raceway, were not consulted or given any notice that this was to happen. In fact, they were not even invited to participate in the process at any stage. They actually feel like whoever, as you can see in the screen capture, went behind their backs. But they reported to the council that in the future it should be enforcing noise limits on the basis of LMAX and not LEQ. So what does that mean? I'm not going to go in the full description of LMAX and LEQ. That's for you to find out if you want to do that. But here's a screen capture of the report again, and I'm going to do a little brief description of what it means. The difference is that LMAX is measured every second and the LEQ is averaged over a period of time. In the case of Lakeside, LEQ was 15 minutes when they signed to invest millions into the racetrack in 2007. That LEQ was to be averaged over an hour period from a local residence near the track. So to comply with the 15-minute restrictions, we, being Lakeside, had to stop all endurance racing and make the on-track activities fit into 12-minute chunks, which would comply with that restriction. Unfortunately, that upset a lot of people in those events, and a lot of events have moved on. But the actual Lakeside Raceway battled on through those restrictions. This was the reason that Lakeside had to cancel a lot of big events, including the featured Commodore and Falcon big bangers, quote unquote. Almost all historic racing cars refused to come back to Lakeside because of these changes, etc, etc, etc. It is worthy noting that even after 16 years of operation, Lakeside has never been accused of breaking the original regime at the original house, which is close to the track. Roll on to 4 months, October the 15th. On that day, we received an email from Scott Waters advising that there had been 187 breaches of the LMAX levels. To be frank, I thought 187 seconds between June the 4th and the 15th. So yes, as I stated before, there's been over 100 noise complaints from the 4th of June 2024 to the 15th of October 2024. So the fact is that Lakeside is currently staring down, as there's a screen capture there, of 187 potential fines for exceeding noise limits. There's no reason to believe that the council is likely to prosecute that matter, but it is a risk that Lakeside is facing, and unfortunately that could be the reason why they may unfortunately be closing. Now fast forward to the beginning of February 2025, and there's also another link in the description below to the official Facebook post by Lakeside Raceway. But here's a screen capture. I'll go into it brief here, not fully. I wish to thank Scott Waters, the CEO of MBRC, Moreton Bay Regional Council, for commissioning the independent assessment of the value to the community through Lakeside Park Motorsport. Lakeside contributes to 419 jobs, 360 in the Moreton Bay region, 84.4 million in business revenues, 64.2 million in the Moreton Bay region, 29.2 million in wages, 23.5 million in the Moreton Bay region. And what the report does not show is how we donate our profits to charities and provide free support for other charity events. A couple of things to point out here. Blue Hope in supporting families of police officers who died in the line of duty, 128,000. Fred Hollows for river blindness in Africa and UV damage in Nepal, 50,000, plus club charity events. BMW raised 30,000 and the Wanderers raised 13,000 for Beyond Blue. And also with Lakeside, there's cycling events, there's Anzac Day, Remembrance Day tributes as well for racing and whatnot. But all that can be found in the screen capture here, and the rest of it can be found in the link in the descriptions that I've provided below. So from a personal note and a lot of locals in the area and also around Brisbane and southeast Queensland, we love going to Lakeside on track day events. And unfortunately, I think if they're going to be closing the actual track due to noise complaints, then it's going to push a lot of people out onto public roads trying to do a lot of racing, which is not what the council wants. So if the council took a couple of minutes just to have a look at the real bigger picture here, they might see that the community wants this racetrack to stay there. And if these people that are making the complaints want to move out of their homes close to the racetrack and swap homes with me, I'd love to live next to a racetrack myself. I'd rather hear track day noise in normal hours over idiots on public roads doing burnouts and skids and speeding. What do you think? So if you could spare a couple of seconds to comment and like on this actual video, that'd be much appreciated. It may not help the cause, it may do. All I can do is try, eh? So I'll actually wait a couple of weeks until the likes and comments have built up on this actual video. Once that's happened, I'll actually send the actual video link to one of the emails that I showed you in the Facebook link description and also in the description below to one of those contacts or a few of those contacts, and then see what happens. It may help, it may not. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing. My name is Matt and you've been watching Curtis LSA YouTube channel.